Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to lesson 3. So now we are working on at the customer's house and the first 10 minutes of what happens at the house, building rapport and the needs assessment. Let's dive in, guys. So, like we talked about in lesson 2, powerful first impression, right? Make instant trust building connections that set you apart. They may have already had other companies come out. Make sure they know right at the start that you're the one they want to work with, price aside. This is how you were able to set your prices and pay yourself what you deserve and what you want. Authentic rapport building, guys, professional connection. Don't be fake. Don't be pushy. Just be yourself. Be natural and help the customer provide a solution to their problem. Affect needs assessment. Uncover the real problem. Be on the surface system. Take the time. Figure out what's really going on. Figure all that out. Get the homeowner to open up. Make them share their past experience. Make them share their concerns. Let them talk to you and they will almost sell themselves. Let them talk about everything. Just answer. Listen more, talk less, and guys, they'll sell the job for you, I promise. And become a trusted professional that they want to work with, right? Position yourself as an expert provider. Critical, guys. This is something that we beat into our system, the critical first 10 minutes. Critical first 10 minutes. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Remember that. The first 10 minutes determine whether you'll be seen as just another contractor who's trying to take their money, rip them off, or do the job, or you are actually a trusted professional that they want to hire, right? What happens in the first 10 minutes is we build that initial trust. We get that professional credibility. It's a comfort level. Their anxiety comes down. Their guard comes down. They tend to open up a little bit, and you build that level of comfort with the homeowner. Engagement decision. This is where they're going to own up, man. They're willing to talk. They're willing to share. They're willing to talk about how they can afford this, or if they can afford this, or how they got in this situation, or maybe they wasn't expecting it and it's an emergency. Guys, every situation is going to be different, whether it's stressful, whether it's unplanned or planned, you don't know. Let the customer open up. And guys, visit the foundation, right? The entire interaction framework set. So the 5 essential components for success. Transition smoothly, right? Professional entrance, confidence introduction, set the stage for that appointment. Let them know that you are there to provide a solution, not a service. Respect their face, physical boundaries, home respect, personal respect. Guys, 2025. Things are going on out here that we've never seen before. People have their guards up. People may be a little standoffish. It's okay. Understand their situation. Listen completely. Ask the clarifying questions and really uncover that problem. If it's a leaking roof, is there multiple leaks? If the HVAC unit's broke, why did the HVAC unit break? Is there something else that's going to break? If a pipe busted or something's leaking, what caused that pipe to break? Was it weather? Was it something else? Was it poor craftsmanship from the last contractor? Make sure they know that. And guys, show genuine interest. Listen actively. Display expertise and demonstrate that you actually care. Not that they're bothering you, none of that. Make sure that they know that you truly care about providing a solution, not a service. And take control, right? Become the authority. Don't let the customer tell you what's wrong. Tell them what's wrong. Show them what's wrong. Show them the proof. Walk them through it. If it's up in an attic, don't make them climb up there. Take pictures. Take videos. Everybody's got a cell phone attached to their hip these days. We have drones for roof. We have so many things to provide a clear understanding of what is going on, what the problem is, and what's the solution that we have to fix that problem. So guys, we're going to go through the trust factor here for T, for transition smoothly. Professional entrance, firm knock, step back, genuine smile, professional handshake, eye contact, boom, 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 nice to meet you. Opening script, here's an example. I'm not going to read it to you, but craft it what you want. This is one that we train our team on, and that's it. Setting stage, acknowledge their choice, professional positioning, and the process overview. So going into the R. All right, sorry guys, I lost internet. So let me get to the R. So back to the R, guys. So we're building trust through boundaries and respect, right? Physical respect, home respect, and personal respect. Shoes, shoe cover, spaces, respect completely. Home respect. Don't touch anything. Personal items belonging. Don't just sit down on the couch. They will offer you a seat. Take a seat. They offer you something to drink. Take something to drink. You guys are in somebody else's house now. They've invited you in. Ask permission before moving anything. Some people are very, I don't want to say weird. Weird's not a good word for it, but people like things a certain way. They don't want someone to come in and just rum it all up, right? And compliment appropriately. You know, if they have a nice house, talk about the nice house. They have a sweet pool. Hey, that pool's awesome. Lakes. They got a dog. Compliment their dog. Ask them if they always have labs or they always have collies or whatever it may be. Start conversation and lower anxiety and build trust. And finally, personal respect, right? Time respect. Time is the most valuable thing that we have as humans. And you need to make sure they know that, hey, I know your time is valuable. This assessment's going to take about 30 minutes. Then I'll give you a clear picture of how we can help you with good solutions. Sound good? Got it. Decision. Hey, no pressure here today, but my job is to give you all the information. That's what I'm doing. And here's the options. And here's the situation. Here's the problem. And here is the solutions ends that I have to solve this problem. Respect builds the foundation for trust, which is what we do here. We do trust selling. Finally, the U. Understand their situation, right? Know their story. What's been going on? Have you had HVAC issues before? When was the last time it was serviced? Your roof. How old is your roof? Have you had it inspected lately? Have you guys had any storm? Have you had any hail? What about ice? Ask them this stuff. How long has it existed? Why are you calling now? Oh, because you found a leak. Got it. Perfect. Let's start at the leak, and then I'll work my way up to the roof, and we'll figure out what the root cause of that leak was. Clarify. Help me understand, right? Probing for details. That helps us provide a genuine solution and get the problem fixed the first time. What do you mean when? Clarify specific terms, right? Can you show me where? Locate the problem area. Don't just say this or that. Have them walk you to it if they're able to or if they're willing to. How often does this? Ask these types of questions. What worries you the most about this? Figure out their concerns. Figure out what's holding them back from either fixing the HVAC unit or maybe putting on a new roof or fixing that running toilet. Figure that out, guys. Real problems. The surface problem, my roof is leaking. The real problem, guys, I'm worried about damage to my home and my family's safety. Yeah, their roof's leaking, but the real problem is it can make a lot more damage. And then I got to get a mold person. Then I got to get a restoration person. Then I got to get a drywall person. It's going to domino effect, right? That's the real problem. That's what we're trying to get to. What is the real problem? And here's the real solution. So, S, show genuine interest. Maintain eye contact. Nod. Understand that you're comprehending what they're throwing down and ask follow-up questions. Just clarify. Their terminology is not going to be like ours. They are not going to know what a condenser is or oh God, I go into so many other things. They're not going to know what these words are, right? They're not going to know. So make sure we're asking follow-up questions to make sure we're talking about the same thing. Guys, I can't emphasize this enough. Take notes. iPads, notebook, your phone notes, whatever you have to do, take notes and take more of them. And if the customer's cool with it, we use these. This is a little AI recording tool. It's the size of a business card. And I could even show you guys. It's by a company called Plod. And I take it, it smacks on the back of my phone. I turn it on. Feel a little light come on. It activates on my phone. And I just say, hey, I'm going to record this conversation with my AI tool. It's going to shoot me out a document so I don't miss nothing. Are you okay with that? It doesn't voice record. It just records the notes and then it shoots you the notes of a summary. So whenever you go back, you're able to have this and you didn't miss nothing. You can put it in the customer's file, so forth, when you're doing the estimate or what it may be, or if service asks or your boss asks, you have it transcribed. These are like $50, I think, $60. and we use these a lot. There's a lot of other new technology on the market. These have been around for a couple of years. This is like one of the first AI recorders, and so we still use them because we paid for them. But anyways, expertise, right? In my experience, like we don't want to talk like we're in sales. We want to talk about we want to talk from experience. So, hey, I've seen this before, and usually this is what's going on. I'm not sure if that's the case for yours, but let me confirm that, right? Hey, the good news is I found the problem and it's something that we do every day. I got it fixed. You don't owe me nothing, or it's this, right? So make sure you're giving him that professional confidence, humble, optimal. Don't want to be arrogant, right? We want to be humble and give the confidence that the customer wants. And then finally, guys, educate. Explain to them the process. Hey, if we're to move forward with this, what happens next? What is your responsibility? What is my responsibility? How do we move forward? Guys, we have to share our experience about relevant stories. Hey, we saw this one house one time. They let it go for 6 months. And unfortunately, a leak got bad and the drywall collapsed in the living room and they had a way bigger mess in their hands. I'm not trying to be pushy here. I'm just letting you know that these things do compound and they do get worse. So, we are behind the 8 ball, or behind the timing. Timing is of an essence here. So let's make sure we're staying on top of this when you're ready to move forward. Sound good? Always get confirmation from the customer. Explain the importance, and then obviously position yourself as an educator from past experiences. And then finally, take control professionally, right? Let me look through this so I can give you a complete picture of what we're dealing with and the best way to handle it. Professional presence, expert knowledge, solution focused, guys. Leadership, direct to the process. Hey, here's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to get my ladder out of my truck. I'm going to climb your roof right now. I'm going to look around. I'm going to take some pictures. I'm going to do a quick inspection. And I'm going to come back down and document it, and then we're going to go over it. Sound good? Confirm that they understand the process so that they know what you are doing on their house. Explain the actions. I need to check a few things and guide the understanding. This will help me understand, right? You go from more of a visitor in their home to a process leader. And then finally, guys, the expectations. Once I complete my assessment, I'll sit down with you and explain what I found, what it means, and what your options are. Time frame on the options, what you'll inspect and why, deliverables, right, complete findings and what their options are, and no pressure. Information for them to make the best decision for the solution to their problem. Guys, the psychology of rapport building. It builds trust, similarity, competence, benevolence, authenticity, and reliability. First impression, it can be formed in seconds. Subconsciousness, automatic decisions, and then emotional, right? But it can, destroy trust by being pushy, selling first. You're more interested in making $1 than actually helping the customer. You're not listening. They're trying to tell you something and you're not comprehending it, or you don't care to comprehend because you just want to make a sale. You're being disrespectful. You're late. You're walking through their house with their shoes on, making false promises, commitments you can't keep. You're not going to be able to fix it tomorrow. You're not going to be able to get to their roof in 6 months. You're not going to be able to do this in the next 2 hours. You know it's going to take 5 hours, and you're going to bill them 5 hours, but you tell them it's going to take 2, and then you're going to run into problems, and then upsell them or upcharge them. Guys, build trust and be open from the start. So, reading the homeowner communication styles, guys. We're human. We all are different, and we all communicate differently. Hold on one second. So, the analytical, right? The analytical homeowner wants the details. They want the data. They ask a lot of technical questions. They've probably done a lot of research before you've even got there to make sure they're not getting, the rug pulled over them or whatever it may be. They need processing time. They're not going to make a quick decision. They have to think about it. They're probably going to do some more research. They're going to Google. They're going to go into that. I see this a lot with guys that are engineers. And if you've ever worked with engineers, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And they value thoroughness, right? They are very detail-oriented people. They have a process. They probably work in some kind of environment that has a similar process. And that's how they operate their life. The relationship. the personal connection, right? They vibe with you. They want to know about you. Are you married? Your kids? How old are you? How long you been doing this? They make their decisions based on the trust factor of what you're telling them and how the relationship is formed. Like I said, ask about your family and your background. The results, right? They're straight to the business. They want to know the price. They want to know the process. If it sounds good, boom. If it doesn't sound good, they're going to, And they may seem almost impatient, right? When can you get here? When can you do it? They're going to demand. They're result oriented guys. They want to know when they can get their problem solved and how quick it's going to take to get that solution. And then the expressive, right? They just enjoy conversation. I see this with a lot of older people. They're just happy to have you there. They just like to talk to you. You remind me of my grandson. Or where'd you go to school at? What's your parents' name? Do I know them? They like to share personal stories. They just want to feel heard, right? They want to tell you about how they've done it or used to do it. And they kind of have those gut feeling decisions, right? If it feels good, they're just going to go for it. But if any hang up in there, they're just going to think about it or push you off, but they're not going to tell you because they're still going to keep leading you on a little bit. So be patient, show interest, and let them guide the pace. Guys, these little approach buttons down here at the bottom, I can't tell you how important these are. Memorize them and think about them, because when you run into these 4 communication styles, these little bullet points here will snap into your head, especially with the analytical guy, right? You're going to know it right off the start. So when you come back with that estimate or the diagnosis, have the facts ready, right? You know this guy is going to ask about product, manufacturer, warranty, all that stuff, performance, energy, cost savings, all that stuff. Be ready. So common first tenant mistakes, guys. Ones to avoid: rapport mistakes, trying too hard to be their friend, sharing too much personal info, making assumptions. We don't ever make assumptions. Everybody knows what assumption stands for. You're rushing that relationship building without ever really understanding the customer, or just being almost fake and overly enthusiastic to be there. And people aren't dumb. They can read you. They're going to know that you're just trying to sell them something, and it's going to be over. Assessment mistakes, guys. Jumping to technical inspection right away, not getting to know the customer, asking them questions, let them tell you the situation, all that stuff. You're not listening to the full story. You're kind of dismissing their concerns too early, making an early diagnosis, and focusing on symptoms and not cause. And then, guys, finally, the presentation mistakes. Just being unorganized, just not prepared, not taking the situation seriously, kind of laughing or telling them that it's not serious, but it is serious because it is their home. Almost appearing desperate, right? Trying to make crazy promises just to get a sale. You're doing a lot of talking. You're not listening. The customer's just sitting there, just kind of rolling their head because they don't know what in the living hell you're talking about, because you just opened your mouth for 12 minutes and they have no clue what you told them, and just not respecting the home space, guys. First 10 minutes, common mistakes. This is a great slide. Highly recommend taking a screenshot of this slide. So needs assessment deep dive, right? Immediate problem, the 4 layers. Immediate problem, the underlying cause, the impact and consequences, and what can we do to prevent this from happening in the future. Some questions over here, guys, that are really good for building rapport and figuring this stuff out and assessing the situation. Then system implementation, guys, action items. So just practice and preparation. Role play is good, man. We do a lot of role playing with our team. I've done a lot of role playing in my career with other sales teams. It seems a little weird, but you guys know how these customers are. And the more that you get used to firing from the hip these answers and these responses, the better off you will. Process improvement, right? Systemize for consistency. Create a 10-minute checklist. I'm gonna put some of the stuff down below, but create some of this stuff so that you have it on your notebook or have it on your clipboard or have it somewhere that you're checking stuff off, at least for the first couple of jobs, until you get confident and get comfortable with this stuff. And then finally, guys, skills development. Practice, work on reading styles, develop empathy, and improve technical skills. That is it, guys. I am going to wrap this lesson up, and I will see you guys on the next one.